pleasant thing, which brings happiness, which brings good to all. So, inclination towards the pleasant thing, which good people always do, as well as abstinence from the unpleasant, this type of thought does not exist for one who is no adehasya, who has gone beyond the body identity. Therefore, phalang bhoga, therefore, there is no action to what is the question of follow, result. Follow, result comes for doing certain action. But they don't do any action because they live in the Paramatman, they live in the supreme joy, they have no desire and no thing to be done, nothing to be abstained from. So in this context, so thus actions of enjoyment, there is nothing as such. That means they're free soul. Point is that, one word, we are all bound souls. If we do good, then it is good. If you don't do, you incur sin. Every religion will say, no, if you don't follow this scripture, what it says, then you are incurring sin. You will go to hell. There is no hell for a knower of truth. There is no heaven for a knower of truth. He lives in the absolute bliss all the time. So this is the context. So that inclination towards the pleasant as well as abstinence from the unpleasant, they do not exist for one who is beyond body consciousness. Thus, there will never be any action or results of action for enjoyment. So they will never have any such thing. Who you are searching?
We got a call that the sound was not coming through.
Oh, sound is not coming.
It's working.
Oh, acha. Good. Every time check it. You should keep it in your head. I got the complaint before also. People say I didn't hear much. Okay. Now the 5th verse, verse number 5. Deho prano mano buddhi chitta ahankaram indriyam daivancha vasana cheshta tad-deha karma sambhavet. Karma sambhavet, action. We do action. All of us do action. So, how it is possible to do action? Only actions are possible, only deho. You need a body. Dead body cannot do any work. Prana, you have some life force, that is necessary. So body is necessary, life force is necessary. Mano, your mind should be involved into it. I'll do. If your mind is somewhere, you don't hear what I'm talking about. If you are doing anything, your mind is absent, you are eating. But what did you eat, you do not know, if the mind is not there. So you have to involve a gate, the deho, body is necessary, the vital energy, the prana shakti, the power of breathing, that energy is necessary. Then it is, mind is necessary, buddhi, intellect is necessary, to decide whether this right or that right. And behind that, ahankaram, ego, I will do this. But I will do indriyam, you need the eyes, ear, nose, throat, all these 5, hand, feet. So 10 action organ, they are needed for performing any karma. So action is possible only due to association of the body, vital energy, mind, intellect, remembering faculty, ego, the sense of organs, fate, desire and effort. Devancha, daivancha vasana cheshta. Daiva means God's grace. Vasana, you should have some desire and you should make some effort. It is not that because you are a lion, there is a Sanskrit verse. Because you are a lion, the deers don't rush into your food, mouth. But you have to make an effort. Even the lion will have to make an effort to chase his prey. So, therefore, these are the necessary conditions. Action is possible. Analyze your everyday action, how you are doing. So you need a body, You need the prana shakti, the prime vital energy. You need a mind, you need intellect, you need ego. And also you have to remember, remembering faculty. What you did yesterday, you should know, then you can start today. And then ego and sense organs are there. And that will not be enough. God's grace is necessary. Faith and desire is necessary, I will do it. And effort is necessary. Different, diverse effort. That's parallel to the Gita's teaching that you need to perform any action, you need all these parts. Now, what happens for a person of wisdom? They also have all these things, but jnāni sarva vicarena nirasto jarabodhata sassarupe satchidanande vishrantascha advayatataha. So, jnāni, but it is for us. Body, mind, emotion, intellect, ego, sense organs, God's grace and your own effort and trying to accomplish it in various ways. These are necessary. But for a jnāni, means the knower of truth, those who have the jnana, who have the wisdom and knowledge, for them, sarve vicarena nirasta. He has discarded everything. I am not the body, I am not the prana, I am not the mind, I am not the ego, I am not the senses. She has discarded everything. Why? This is jada. They are all inanimate objects. They become lively. How? Like the oven. You put the pot in the pot, you put water, rice, potato, vegetables, these, that, so many things you put. They are all jada. They cannot boil themselves. They cannot make a cooking. You have to put the heat. Heat is consciousness. So they know these are deho, mind, body, sense, eyes, ears, this is all jada, matter. A dead body also have those things. So jada-bodhata, and they discard them. Say, I am not the body, not the mind. Vedanta study is all the time saying that I am not this. Why I am not this? Because these are jada. Jada means inert. It is like a stone. There is no difference between this block of wood and this body. If the consciousness goes, look at that. What is the value of this body? And what is this reality? Therefore, sarupe satchidananda, and they rest. They think these are jada, they give up. And they rest in the sarupe, in his own divine self, in his own divine nature, which is satchidananda, which is of the nature of absolute consciousness, absolute bliss, and absolute joy. And advayat-tato, in that absolute non-dual state. So he discards this duality and rests in that absolute non-dual. The very essential teaching of the whole Vedanta has been given in a nutshell here. So now, therefore, you are talking about the karma. Where will be karma? Karma, 7th verse. Karma lesho bhaven-naso niskriyam atma-tyāyate tasyaiva phalabhoga-syat yena karma kritam bhavet. Now, the question is that karma lesho bhavet-naso. So this person of wisdom, where there will be any work for him? See how logically they are saying. You to do work, you need a body, you need a mind, you need the sense organs, need your hand, feet, you need your breathing, prana, the life force moving in your... But Jnani has discarded everything. They don't feel I am that. They feel I am Satchidananda. So where there will be any karma for him? His body functions. He thinks it's not me. His body is functioning. How, that's a very deep thing to understand. Intellectually it is difficult to understand. It is not me. Suppose the example, that's why they give the example of the chariot and the charioteer. Or better example, today's example, your Uber car. not self-driving, then you have to drive. But suppose you are in a called a Uber, so you are sitting in the back seat. Are you doing anything? No. But anything happens to the car, it belongs to the car, the engine, eyes, headlight, ear, horn, this, that. I am just making a simile like that. So all these are there. And energy is there. Engine is going on. But for what? For the driver. But the driver is driving for whom? The boss who is sitting behind. So he sees that, and anything happens to the car, what the boss says, he gets out. It's all the problem of the driver and the engine and the car. So this car, its engine, the heart, lungs, this, that, and its boss is what? Intellect, ego. They are responsible. Real ego, he says, I don't do anything. This is the car. The police comes, if any accident happens, he catches whom? Who has rented the Uber? No. So it goes to the who has the identity. My car, I am driver, no? So that. So this is just two example. So there is no karma for the person who have rented the Uber. Karma lesha, even this trace of karma is not with him. Bhavet no, so because niskriyam, he is beyond all kriya, action. And he is a renunciate. He has given up everything. Not this, not this, not this. Jati. Tasyaiva phalabhoga sat. Phalabhoga, the result of action will go for them. Sat jnana karma kritam. Who is performing? I am doing work. Well, you come out of your whole day's work. You say, I did so much work. And this is the net result. Today's work, this is the net result. So those who have the identity of body identity, they can only perform the karma. Those who have body identity, a child does any karma, look at that, Swami Vivekananda gave the example. A baby in the house, actually Swami Vivekananda says, the baby is the king or queen of the house. Everyone runs around. Baby is crying, so everyone runs there. Baby is smiling, everyone is happy. But does baby actually dictate, hey, you have to do this? He only is there. That's the example. Brahma-jnani only is there. He does not do any work. He eats. Baby does not eat? Yes, baby eats. But baby has no identity. I am eating. Whenever hunger comes, he cries. Mom knows baby is hungry. No? So they are in action. But baby is not doing anything. But baby is only. So Brahma-jnani is only. They don't have any action, any reaction. Body does. That's why body's action, that Hori Maharaj Swami Turiyananda used to say, deho jane aur dukkho jane. Let the body understand, and its suffering or pleasure, let him understand. Oh my mind, mon tumi anande thakur. Oh my mind, you stay in bliss. That means your mind is the pure mind. Now, so the karma is not for the Brahma-jnani, how they are establishing. Karma is done by the body, etc. Śarīre, 8th verse. Śarīre sutijat karma bhavati iti prapasyasi ahankarascha sa-ābhāsa karta-bhoga-dānāya. But you see the Brahma-jnani, like Ramakrishna, like Vivekananda. He went to the length and breadth of this country, no? Speaking here, revelation is in, arguing with people, newsmen are running after him, and so much popular in this country, no? So, what about their work? Śarīre sutijat karma. That karma, what you find in that their body is performing, bhavati iti prapasyasi, as you see that Brahma-jnani is performing, ahankarascha sa-ābhāsa. It is not he, it is not the Atman, but it is the reflection of that Atman on their chitta or your mind. You see that that is running because of the reflection. A reflected light. Suppose this, and have you sometimes checked that in a big lake there is moon in the sky, no? and you see the moon moves, as it were. Actually, reflection is moving. Reflection cannot move because the moon is there. Moon's reflection. So it is the real Atman is reflected in the mind. That's why you see here is an existence. So Brahma-Jnani is because of your being in the body. You are being in the body. You see that. Brahma-Jnani does not, two perspectives. I see you and you see yourself. No? I might judge you from my angle. No? Good or bad. But you, as you are, you are. Similarly, we look at the Brahma-Jnani as if they are working, as if they are angry, as if they are eating, as if they are enjoying luxury, luxurious life, or a life of utter austerity, that you are saying. But the knower of truth does not associate with anything. He thinks it's my body doing, my mind is doing. I am not in any way associated with it. It's very high level. Normally if we apply it in our life, sometimes we will make a mistake. Doing all nonsense things. I will say, I do not do. My mind, I do not know my mind has done. I have not done, my hand has done. No, that's a misuse of Vedanta. And that's a very possibility is there. Because unless it is experiential, people may misuse it and misunderstand it and wrongly interpret. That's why the bad name comes for Vedanta. Oh, he's a Vedanta and he is doing like that. See, what is this? But they don't understand the real Vedanta is this. Because they are so tuned to the higher consciousness everywhere. Why they will be running for anything in the world? What joy is there in the world? A penny, a drop of joy is there, and in Brahmananda you are the ocean of joy. Why will you carry for? If you get $1 billion, will you carry for $10? Oh, there is $10, let me go and check it and grab it in my pocket. Then you are a billionaire. The Brahman is absolute, infinite. Having reached that joy, inexpressible joy, limitless joy, why will people run for? We do work for what? We want to get something out of it and be happy. But he is happiness himself. He is the embodiment of all happiness. So why he will run for anything? That's why, because of your being in the body, the actions you observe in the Brahma-Jnana are done by the ego illumined by consciousness. Your ego, in the consciousness is reflected in your ego, and that gives a reflection. The water in the lake gets disturbed. You see, the moon is dancing. Moon is dancing, moon dances. But the water is rippled, and water is rippled. You see, the spark of the light is flickering here and there. So these are you are saying because of your condition. But the moon says, I don't do anything, I am. So this is the point.
Even in the case of like a samskara or vasana for some worldly pleasure, why should they experience it in the bookshop? You know, from the earlier chapter, sometimes outside you see them, they're like engaging in work.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Yeah, that because that they will explain the impulse of the past life's action, body. Yeah, body is functioning, you know. Suppose car accident happened. Suppose imagine, some axle is broken. And the one wheel is running. Whose direction it will run? Anyone is controlling? It is going because of the past momentum. When the momentum will be zero, it will stop. So their body, the axle has been broken. From the Atman to the body, that axle is broken. But it was moving in certain speed. The body moves continuously. That's why they behave differently. Otherwise they have no karma. So everything sakshina vashyati sarvam jnāni sakshi shayam prabha sangasparsu tato nasto bhanuvatloka karmavi. Everything is illumined by witness consciousness. Everything in the world we see, it is the witness. Witness consciousness means behind you, go back, behind the eyes, your mind, behind the mind, your intellect, behind the intellect, your ego. Behind that is the full consciousness. So everything is illumined in the world by that consciousness. A witness consciousness. The knower of truth himself is the self-effulgent witness. Those who have identified that I am the knower of truth, they actually are identifying himself with the self-effulgent. I am the witness. They don't think that I am the body, I am the eyes. I am seeing, my mind is emotional, I am happy today, I am unhappy today. No, they don't identify there. It happens to the mind. Even it happens to the mind. They identify, I am the witness consciousness. I am the back of everything, that consciousness. Therefore, for Jnani, like the sun, there is no touch of attachment and contact with the world of the mundane activities. The sun is in the sky, you have no contact with the earth, far distance. But the presence of the sun, see, so much reaction going on in the world. Sun doing nothing, look at that. But sun says, oh, it is 8 o'clock. Oh, our class is to be finished soon. Who is dictating? The sun. But sun is doing anything, telling us, hey, do this, do that. Sun is there, and things rotate like. So the Brahma-Jnanis are there, they know that their body and mind is doing, they are totally off from that. Viharati griha karje, 10 verse. Viharati griha karje, tyakta-bhogaḥ, viharati jana-sange, loko-jatra-anurupam, pavana-sama-vihari, raga-sangadi-mukto, vilasati nijarupe, tattva-vid, abhyakta-linga. So, manifesting in a human form, in a body, the knower of truth roams around in this world in his own self. No? He always roams around in his own divine self. Ramakrishna, look at that. He's always roaming around in his own internal conscious self only. Bhagavan, he's saying God, Ishvara, Makali, whatever name. Renouncing his body identity, he carries out household chores. He is doing, his hand is doing, but he is not there. People sometimes say absent-minded doing, no? Their absent-minded is their mind lives in God. That's why they are absent in the active level. They do, but they don't do. That's why they can be detached. We do little thing, we cannot give up. I did it. My copyright. My this. And copyright, people go for court. And how much money they earn, and lawyers are very costly. But they have no royalty. The Upanishadic sages, what they have said, that will be Upanishad, there is no royalty. There is no copyright. Anyone can quote those verses and use them. Even the men, they don't know the name of the people. So the people, they renouncing his body identity, he carries out household chores, enjoys himself in the company of the people sometime. Janasanga, Ramakrishna going to a Brahmo Samaj, so many people, devotees, sometimes confronting social customs. They are adjusting to the social custom. Ramakrishna said, do I look good? I'm going to a good audience. Am I okay? Like a child, no? But they have no identity with themselves. Therefore, being absorbed in his real nature, he, like the bridge, sports around being free from passion, attachment, and similar such defects. So they have no worldly passion, attachment, because they don't need it. We need it to hold on to something. But they are identified with the infinite. So what they need anymore? So that's the Brahma-Jnanis. Lakshanam kinte vakshami, 11. Svabhavo tu vilakshana bhavati tasya ko bhavo kim alakshanasya lakshana. He says, what shall I tell you about the signs of a person who is by nature devoid of any specific characteristic? Brahma-Jnanis are beyond any characteristic. What shall I talk you about their characteristics specific? of the state, who has transcended all mental state, and the characteristic of him who has no characteristic. That means who is gone beyond all mind, emotion, intellect. What characteristic you are expecting from that? There cannot be any characteristic because he has gone beyond that. 13th verse. Then now how they behave then? There comes the idea to understand prārabdha-karma. This is the main theme of this chapter. Prārabdha-karma. Prārabdha means prakristena-ārabdha, which has been perfectly started at certain point. You throw a stone, before you throw the stone, you can decide which direction you want to throw. No? If you throw this way, after it leaves your hand, you have no control. It will move automatically. The force you have applied and the direction you have given, or you turn that side, it will go that direction. It will go this direction. The trajectory will continue. But you can take care before you throw it. Prārabdha. Before you start this life, last thought, that's why he said, be careful. Think whole life for God, of God. Otherwise, at the point of death, you will be thinking what your last thought was. You will be born like that. You think of dog, you will be a dog. You think of deer, you will be a deer. You think of a cat, you will be a cat.
Wall Street lockup.
That is the scripture say. There is a story of King Bharata. King Bharata, he was a king. His name was Bharat. And what happened? He loved a deer, pet deer. And it was so close. And king escaped in his royal court. And deer he everywhere. He moves with the deer. And when he dying, his thought came of the deer thought. So it is said in the scripture that next life he was born as a deer. Because whatever your mind gets saturated, that you become. And there you are. Anyhow, so this person has no characteristics. In 12th verse. Bihared vividair bhavair bhava vivarjita sarvachara charan utitasya na-atiśayaṃ. Jyoti means the renunciate. Jyoti means the sannyasi, the monk, who have renounced everything like this. That Jyoti, that monk, who is beyond all types of worldly customs and wonders and behaviors, wanders around in various temperaments. Sometimes he may be like a happy guy, sometimes he will be grumpy, because the body-mind is functioning, they don't identify with that. And bereft of sentiments, of feeling of intention and non-intention, behaves in various ways. So the jñānis may behave differently. Because their momentum, that momentum, remember, in this journey when you throw it, the stone is going into the direction or a bullet is going to that direction. In between you may have realized God. You understood that I am not the body, not the mind. What happens? But the stone will move, the stone, the body and mind, it will go on till it drops. So that is called the prārabdha. During that time, how will you behave? As you are behaving before. Your body and mind will function the same way. But it is said, for yogis, those who practice spiritual discipline, their internal nature changes, but externally he looks the same. If he is blind in one eye, because you got realized, your eyes will not be visible, no? Your hand is broken, broken hand, it will remain. Ramakrishna fell down, look at his left arm, it is little broken. And that remains, being Bhagavan, God, no? So these is the body's affair, is not connected with the spirit. So prārabdha is taking them, therefore, prārabdhir-jāyate deho kanchukam pavanair-yatha bhoge nijajjate kāle yatha juggam sarirakam So this is 13th verse. It says, the body is carried away by the actions of the past life, as I told. It's like a piece of cloth that is blown away by the wind. That body in time is suitably fashioned to experience suffering of the enjoyment based on the prārabdha. So we find that the Brahma-Jnanis also they suffer physically, but they don't really suffer, but their body undergoes suffering and pain and all this. Because that is the momentum of the... Got this idea, momentum idea? This life is momentum. That's why people say, it's my fate. That's why people say, I am trying, I am a bright boy, bright man, and I don't get the job. Unless intelligent man, he has no efficiency, he got his job. He is earning much more than me. Why? He is prārabdha, your prārabdha, your trajectory, his trajectory. So, nothing can be done now. But you can change your whole thought process to build up your next life or to realize God here and now. That is the beauty. 14. Nanaveshu dharo yogo yogi vimukto sarvavesata kacit bhikshu kacit nagna bhoge magna mana kacit. Nanaveshu dhari yogi. Yogis look like they dress up in variously and takes up various types of appearances. Sometimes he takes the form of a beggar, like a wandering monk, ragged dress, with a begging bowl, roaming in the world like a homeless person, like a beggar. At times, in the form of a naked one. Ramakrishna sometimes, putting his cloth in his armpit, says, do I look bad? Like a child he is saying, no? So they cannot be categorized with any other formula because they are not identifying with the body. Our problem is we identify with the body. If baby has any sense of sex, think that a baby is lying over there, you go with a dagger in hand, baby will be smiling, probably grabbing the dagger. You go with a gun in hand, baby will be not knowing anything because they have no idea. So Brahma-Jnani, though live in the world, they have no identification there. Therefore, they behave sometimes like a beggar, sometimes like a naked one, sometimes other times engrossed in worldly enjoyment. Ramakrishna in one place is sitting in alabaster, and like this, royal person sitting there. And somebody says, as if he is a jamindar, a landlord, no? So, these behaviors are for, you cannot justify by that they are holy or unholy. Kachit sugandha vilipta anga, like an actor sometimes he lives, takes varied forms of putting on different apparels. Some yogi is always engaged in a beggar-like behavior, some other behaves magnificently like a king. Someone being desirous and engaged in enjoyment, someone is endowed with renunciation, someone wears gorgeous dress, someone is covered with torn cloth, someone is without any clothing, someone is clothed with a waistband and girdle. So you cannot just justify the Brahma-Jnani, you cannot judge any Brahma-Jnani. It is the inner wisdom. But there is a sign, of course, when you go to a holy man, you can understand he is a holy or not. Because going to them, you will find that your mind becomes pure, your mind becomes uplifted. You find little different type of peace and joy. Now 17th. Sometimes some anoint their body with perfume, like a rich person or any society's elegant person. Some smear their body with ashes. You go to the Himalayas, many sadhus are wearing ashes only. Someone enjoying, roaming around with a young woman in a carriage, chewing condiment wrapped in the betel leaves. No? Chewing, it is a pan. In India, people have, pan? Pan is some betel leaf, chewing. It is digestive. It makes your throat nice looking. So that means They do whatever they do, they don't do that, they are doing themselves. It's like things happening in their life, wrapped in between tambula. So, sometimes 18 verse, some appear like an insane, that means crazy. Or some behave like a ghoul in a forest. Some may be silent, does not speak at all. And some else may be an orator, and by argumentative. You go to Vivekananda, go to Brahmananda. Brahmananda is more silent. Rarely he will speak. But when he speaks, he speaks. But some may be very talkative in that sense. So, in no category you can put them that they are their behavior should be only this. Kaścit, some yogi speaks loving words, you go, they will be very sweet and loving. Some will say, is well behaved, someone else is bereft of those manners. You go and he will be very angry. Hey, what did you come here? Get out! But because they are in different mood. That's why in the Himalayas we find different types of sadhus. Anywhere you find them, but mostly you can find that so many varied temperament they carry. Some are householder, some live in the married life, some others are forest dweller, vanaprasthi, third stage of life. Some are dull, they have not gone to school or studied any philosophy or anything, whereas others are very intelligent. So all types of people will be there. 21 verse, these various ways of knowers of truth move about this world, these imperceptible yogis have no delusion at all, roam around by taking apparent identity upon themselves. Therefore, 21st says, the yogis being totally free from all doubts and hesitations, wander around with different moods and in diverse external appearances. They cannot be known even a little by observing their external characteristics of outside. You have to pluck the honey. If you go to such a realized soul, you have to touch them with their proper questioning, sincere question, and then you can say they are pouring the honey coming out of spiritual wisdom. Ordinary people, due to body identity, see only the external signs. Certainly, the internal spirit is never to be understood from the external signs. So, all the signs which we want to see from a yogi or a brahmajnani, from outside you cannot judge them. Many times you will be misjudging them. Swami Brahmananda, our great Swami Brahmananda, that's one. So he was, one day, one big guy came from Calcutta, and he was engaged in playing card. And he was so engrossed, he said, I have no time to see. And that man got very upset. He said, the president of this Ramakrishna order, highly spiritual person. What type of he's playing card? One day he was fishing with a rod in hand. And that gentleman came and saw, I want to see your president. Then Swami Premananda said, oh, please wait. And then after some time, he came, some Maharaj came and said, oh, I was fishing, And seeing this innocence, he thought, I came to see the president who will be in samadhi and this and he's fishing, and sitting with a fishing rod in hand. So you cannot judge from outside. But they became the greatest devotee afterwards, seeing the spiritual life, being in his presence. So they sometimes do bring their mind down. That's why they behave something. Anyhow, that does not mean that if someone does fishing, he is a brahmajnani. That does not mean that someone is playing card, he is a brahmajnani. So, the supreme truth is hard to attain. It can be achieved only by extensive spiritual practice in hundreds of lifetimes. That too is possible only if there is good luck. that verily comes from accumulated virtues of the meritorious deeds by the grace of spiritual teacher. That means you must have some great spiritual background of the past or in this life from childhood. Now 25 and 26 says, Jodi sarvam parityajyo, if by giving up everything, purity of the mind is obtained, if one offers everything unto God, unto me, Rama Krishna says, does spiritual practice again and again with one-pointed mind, renounces everything, performs work without a craving for results, wishes my pleasure and remains devoted to me alone. So they are the people who can realize this. 27 to 28, thereafter attaining the faculty of discrimination, performing puja, doing selfless work, gradually mind becomes pure. So thereafter, attaining the faculty of discrimination, right and wrong idea will come. One should conduct spiritual practice endowed with desire to realize the self. Spiritual practice can be done for many reasons. But for realizing God, I want to realize God, that should be the impetus. And strongly craving for knowledge and free from the defects of pride and other, should take refuge in a wise, holy teacher. They are suggesting how you will reach that. Go to a teacher, follow strict discipline, follow the path of renunciation, detachment, etc. And then one should always remain engaged in the service of the teacher, means instruction the teacher gives, and through the grace of the Guru, and he will transcend even the truth after realizing the truth. Therefore, when the teacher is propitiated, one attains the supreme truth. Thereafter, one becomes accomplished and freed from worldly bondage. That free, unattached soul of the nature of Supreme Self certainly will not enter in the ocean of worldly existence, of the cycle of birth and death. So, to reach this state, you should have a teacher, you should have to follow yourself sincerely and detach and live a life of purity and focus the mind. No, I am not the body, not the mind, and on the self. Like that, by Guru's grace, by your own effort, it will happen. Having abandoned the objects of enjoyment, bereft of the expectations, some men of wisdom are indifferent and withdrawn from the sense objects. Some are well renowned as pleasure seekers. Being deeply attached to sense enjoyments, they move around the sense objects. Their actions of the past lives are the root cause. Why they do all these things? Because the actions of the past life, prārabdha, which creates various tendencies due to the actions performed previously. The one who is destined to have enjoyments due to the results of his past actions make an effort to nurture and live in luxury, being dispassionate and bereft of enjoyment. So people of the different Brahmagyanis will have different types of behavior pattern because of that. So therefore, that initiating power, which is called the prārabdha, which constitutes the body, is for giving worldly experiences. Our body is now going on due to impetus of the past life's action. So, after attainment of the knowledge, and after granting the semblance of a body, power gives him the experience of the pleasure. So, when that person even realizes the truth, when the body goes on, the body experiences those pleasure and pain, but the Brahmagyani does not. Therefore, last verse, the worldly experience happens to a Jnāni only in the body. Their experience is happening in the body, in the mind. If the mind and body is not there, who will experience what? All our experiences are the sensate world, to the eyes, to the ears, touch, taste, etc., with the help of mind, with the help of intellect and ego. So the worldly experience happens only in the body that appears, fabricated by the actions of past lives, prārabdha. But the knower of truth in the state of knowledge becomes liberated and remains free from all worldly experiences. Though they live in the world, they are free from all worldly experiences and they live in eternal bliss. So this is the end of the chapter. So we have done very quickly. This is a big job. But we have to learn out of it, whatever the lesson, that how to get out of the clutches of this ignorance, maya. How we can become a knower of truth. What should be the practice? All these ideas, we got it from here. Brahmogyanis cannot be decided. Okay, we end here. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So thank you for joining online and in person. So we will start the next day, chapter 6, verse number 1. And now we will have some minutes for question answers. Also, you have any question, you can get ready. Says how we realize that we are going to Him. How we realize that we are going to Him means God. How will you understand? Oh, yeah, that's a question. Yes. How you will know that you are really going towards God? How? Very simple. If you like anything, wherever some performance, you like music. So whenever there is a good music performance, what do? You keep an eye, get an information, and you make that slot of time to go there. So what is your spiritual life? If you are really thinking that you are going, your tendency, your heart will speak that. Let me go. I'll go. You will try to love God, or to listen to God's words. People spend money, and these are given free of service, free service. But no one listens to that. When you charge it $1,000, there may be few people, not few people, many people will come. The point is that your heart should crave for, you will feel that you are feeling a craving for knowing the truth. You will be feeling that the life I am leading is not enough, it's not pleasing me. I am not satisfied with this. I want to find peace, more peace. I want to get lingering joy, prolonged joy. That type of tendency, that type of questioning will haunt the heart. Those are the signs. Love for God will come, and distaste for the objects of the world which can give us little joy, followed by so much suffering. So that type of thing, mind will say, I have done enough. I don't like that. Let me search for this. That tendency will come. So, Ishware Anurag, Vishaye Virag, Ramakrishna's formula. That attraction for our real self, you call self or God, and distaste for the world in which we live. It is not that you have to give up everything. You have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to drive car, you have to have a good dress. But you lose the attachment to those things. It is there, but you are okay. But I am not craving for that. I like that. For a normal life, I should have to all this survival mode. But attraction will come more for God, for spirituality, for prayer, meditation, holy company, going to solitude. All these characteristics will simultaneously grow. That is the thing. Anything more? So any question from this here? Don't ask afterwards, I have so many questions, I will ask you. This is the time.
You said intellect is behind ego. I understand, or intellect.
Ego is the last one. Ego is the last.
My understanding was it was
Ah.
Intellect is your pure essence.
That is that some places people may talk like that, but the conventional idea is that ego comes at the end. I, my intellect. Don't you say? I was confused that time. That means you are confused in your mind or confused in your understanding. You say, oh, I took a wrong decision yesterday. Your decision is the function of your intellect. Decision making. Mind is vacillating. Shall I go? Not go. Shall I eat? Not eat. Mind cannot decide. So decisive faculty is called the intellect. And intellect is my intellect. I was yesterday I was confused. So I could not give you the right response. I am telling you now. We say this practical day-to-day in our life. We say like that. But it matters little just to understand that we are these identities. And we are not neither of the identities. We are beyond that.
As a person,
Loud.
as a person is maybe is more drawn to spiritual things and feeling less drawn to the world. Like, to whom are those experiences happening?
To whom? To whom this?
Yeah, like who or what is changing in that way?
Who is changing that way? Every one of us are changing, because those who are advanced soul, they consciously move in that way. Those who are not developed, they unconsciously go that way. Life's experience, no? See, giving gross example. A boy is falling in love with a girl, and then emotional attachment comes, there are happy days going on, but suddenly some break comes. And see what a blow comes. And that time, then everyone, whether they like or dislike, mind will tell, hey, what is this? I loved so dearly, and this is the disaster. Why this? What is there in this relationship then? Relationship is so superficial. See, all these questions, no one will have to teach. That experience of life gives a blow to reveal the truth. Your relationship, if it is not with God, that is subject to break, subject to damage, subject to create cry, tears. But if it is subject with God, you love someone with God, because God is in him or her, then your love becomes intensified, and that becomes a divine love, pure love. So, that is the way our focus goes in which direction. And experience is the greatest teacher. But some has experienced early. That's why you don't have to praise anybody. Yeah. Saint has a past. And sinner has a future. In Vedanta you don't say sinner, but I am saying unexperienced people will come out to an experience. And experienced people see someone and learn. Don't have to praise anybody, because someone is, he's so good, he saw the world and he renounced. There is no glory. He was like us. He got a blow once, twice, thrice, then what happens? These are the teachers. Our sufferings, our whatever happens in life, if we take it positively, they are great teachers in our life. And that molds our character. Everyone will have to run for the sense objects. Your eyes are created for seeing the beauty. Your ears are created to hear sweet words. Your skin is created for touch. You will run for that. But running, you see, there is no joy ultimately. So it is so superficial, for so momentary, and to pay so much for it, then what the purpose? Can I get this or more? Can you invest where is a 10% interest rate? Now bank don't give you any percentage. Even 8% or 7% or 5%, no? But if you get suddenly hedge fund, you go 50%. You invested 100, you got 150. Wow! No? So can we find a hedge fund? to invest our mind and soul and heart and soul. That is God. It is. But we learn by that. We don't have to decry anyone. He is bad, he is good. Some has experienced that before, some is going to experience, some is ended the experience, some has to start the experience. But ultimately everyone will have to come to this conclusion, that this, or everything what we see glittering, all that glitters are not gold. Everything glittering, fake things, mostly they glitter more.
Did you decide to become a sadhu before you met Amulya Maharaj or after?
We saw some swamis, sadhus, seeing them, we thought that that's a wonderful life. But there's some sadhus who were gracious to guide us. Why do some people feel they are losing that sense of craving for God? Why do someone feel they are losing the sense of craving for God? That means, God is infinite. And if we love God, it is very difficult to grasp higher joy, no? Instant joy you can get. You can get a job in McDonald's or in some fast food trip with little qualification. And the income is also little. How much they give? $10? Now, what is the rate? 10, 12, 15, anyhow, no? But if you want per hour, that to get a job which will pay you like lawyers, $500 per hour, or $1,000 per hour, no? Baba, then you have to prepare yourself for that. So therefore, when we are losing that sense of craving, because we have some craving, but sometimes it goes away because of our past karma, past inclination, they pull us back. Though I know this fast food is bad, but my tongue likes and I go and grab it and eat. This is the same thing. Though I know meditation, prayer, japa, spiritual life is a blessed life. There is no parallel to that. But still my samskaras pull me and I go and eat some fast food I am talking about, no? To create my cholesterol and all these problems. But I do. What can I say? I know, but I do. That because the pool is there of the past actions. So we have to practice more and more so that this losing the sense of craving, as if I was craving for God before. Many people say, I got the initiation mantra. That time I was very advanced and I was advancing very joyfully. And now I don't feel any attraction. That means two things has happened. You have become acclimatized. You are coming from a very hot outside climatic condition and you enter into an air-conditioned room. How do you feel? Everyone feel great joy, no? Wow. And now stay for 1 hour, 2 hours. Then it's not cold, even if it is cold or not, at least you don't feel that is an exciting. It is not an excitement. Those who live in the air-conditioned room, working some way, hours and hours, they don't praise the value of the air conditioning. Air conditioning is valued when you come out from a hot climatic condition and you are perspiring and this and that. So when you first come into spiritual domain, there is a shift. And then you feel, your mind feels the advancement. But when you stay here and your life becomes natural, then you think, oh, nothing happening. But if one practices, it is happening, but you are acclimatized with that change. So it will happen if higher realization comes. So until the higher realization comes, this type of feeling will remain in us. A craving, as if I have no craving. I thought it will be good, but I am not feeling any urge anymore. So these are the, yes.
For the Brahmagami, for the realized one, can they still have, we're talking about for us unrealized people, still having cravings, but can the realized one still have worldly, selfless passion? It's not coming from a place of a separate self, of mind-body complex, but from their knowing of oneness, like serving others, giving lectures, feeling passionate about that. If they can, where does that desire come from? Does it come from
That because you practice, when you practice spiritual discipline, you think God is everywhere, and you come to this level of purity by serving others. So your new sanskara, new character has been built up unconsciously in you. Any good person, spirituality is for whom? Not only a good person, noble person who is restrained in their senses and they love humanity, love to see God in others. These are all practices they are doing. So when these things go on, your practice goes on, so your mind becomes purified and pure. Your tendencies have a change in your tendency. The hatred, what we used to love, we used to do, seeing somebody, we become very angry because of his behavior. This person will see, no, I am not to be angry. I see who is there in him. The Lord is there. So naturally they feel compassionate. Those will be spontaneous behavior of a knower of truth, because trained yogi, that's the major point. We emphasize, in Vedanta we emphasize, you may have a one night good vision. That is good. You may see some light, that's good. But we are not satisfied there. This is only a glimpse to give to you that there is something. But you have to practice hard so that you get established and your whole internal mental structure will be reformed and it will be divinized. And in that divine pure mind, you will see the oneness with all, the feeling for others. You will be compelled to serve others. He will be loving even those who abuse him or her. They will be loving them. So this will be spontaneous action by practicing yogi. But if some non-practicing person suddenly may have illumination, their characteristics are little different. They are prārabdha. Here we are changing our prārabdha, at least mentally. I am not attached. If you don't get attached, then it matters little. You have $1,000 and you have given away somebody. You are not attached. You give away and your mind is up. But if you give 1 penny and tell, oh, I gave him 1 penny, but he has not smiled at me. So you carry it. Even you have given, but you are not given. So when the character is changed, this detachment, internal detachment will come. So naturally they will love others, they will see good in others, they try to see God in others. Okay? Okay, so, yes.
Why should a person choose a human partner if they can experience divine love?
Why? I don't get it.
Why should someone become a householder, get married, have girlfriend, boyfriend, just be in a relationship with God?
Yeah, but that we are hearing all these words, but for us it is no meaning, because we don't know what is God realization, I do not know what is that joy of God, no? We are hearing like that. But what has with a human relationship, we find instant some joy, no? Therefore that drags us down. But when people matures and understands that this is merely a fake thing or a very little thing, I am not satisfied with this little, I want big. That sense should generate. Because we don't get anything. A beggar don't get anything. Whatever food it is okay. But when you are getting everyday food, you want, I don't like this food, I like that food. You have a choice then. And choice goes on higher and higher and higher. So similarly, the food, spiritual food, is a food. Sensate food is also a food. Sensate food, immediately you eat something, ice cream, touch your tongue, ah. So I say, I like it. So I take another scoop, another scoop, another scoop. But meditation, I close my eyes and I see nothing. So 1 hour is gone. What I did, everyone is sitting, I am also sitting. No? So therefore, we get joy here instant, but this joy to get, you have to make more effort. Because it's a big job, you get good salary. Good salaried job, no? So this is this, unless we practice this and we go to this, as I gave in the example, why we have tendency, because we want joy. What everyone is seeking for, we are all seeking for joy, peace, happiness. What joy? And joy is joy? No. Which is prolonged joy, lingering joy, peace, abiding peace. Not momentary. Momentary happiness will come, momentary peace will come. But that goes away and it leaves us in darkness. You have a good meal today, and if tomorrow you don't get that ordinary meal, then you say, oh, what is this food today? Can it be eaten like that? Yesterday was such good food. So yesterday's good food is becoming a cause of your suffering today. But in spiritual life, you have a good meditation yesterday. Today, you think your mind will be uplifted. So we have to go through this process to understand this, and gradually, our attraction for the little thing to the bigger thing will go. Jai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanam Astu. So tomorrow is the gospel class. I will be giving the gospel class at 7:30 here. Okay, thank you.